Good evening, dear friends. This is the birthday episode of Deep Talks. Ms. Gurleen Khokhar, your beloved host of the evening. And I would say that tonight this is going to be really very special because I am having someone with me who is such a beautiful soul, such a terrific personality, who has done tremendous in the field of sexifying your relationships. Yes, my dear friends, you've heard it right. On Deep Talks, I'm bringing some good souls here who are talking about something that's really the need of the hour. So, as Indians and as people who are sitting across the globe, I'm very delighted that this is going to be an year wherein we are talking about something that's really the need of the hour. And Heather Tucker, all the way from Denver, America, is there with Miss Kurleen, your beloved soul, who's going to celebrate not only her birthday, but with people all around the globe celebrating the year of 2021 coming in. And it could not be as eternal as this episode because this is a special episode of Deep Talks, virtual reality on love and relationships. And I welcome Heather. I welcome and I congratulate Heather for becoming a grandmother. And I am so happy, I'm so lucky that she's smiling and all there with all the schedules rescheduled, and we are still here alive because this is something terrific. The relations we are having is something, my dear friends, it only starts with you're saying a hello and you're passing a smile to a stranger. I've never felt so warm enough that this lady has made me feel, and she's today here live in front of me from America. So let me have Heather Tucker with all the adulation, all the appreciation, all the way from America, and she's going to introduce herself for what she's doing and how she's making this world a better place. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
So am I.
And happy birthday. Woo
Woohoo!
woo.
That's fantastic. So okay, so now you introduce yourself to the audience, to the viewers who are going to watch us tonight, and the ones who will be watching us later.
Yes. So my name is Heather Tucker, and I am a mom of three boys. They're actually older. I have a 25-year-old son. I have a 23-year-old son and an almost 16-year-old son. My middle son is the one that just had a baby. So I actually am a first time grandma, which I am so excited about. I love in general life when you just see families expand and grow, and it warms my heart so much. I am married to my husband, Chuck. We actually are celebrating our 20 years together,
Woo! That calls in for a celebration.
which is amazing. And I'm going to share more about this because we almost divorced 3 times. So I will share more about that. But
That's that's
so
amazing and that's fantastic. I mean, I'm sure that myself being a divorcee, I'm delighted to hear that smile coming in from 3 times divorced. So something that is a cause for celebration because having that kind of the courage, the bold outlook to just be there and talk candidly is something that I need to salute every woman for and every gentleman because I believe it's not about gender as much as it's about the concepts of the narrow outlook on not talking about such topics, which Miss Gurleen would never falter in not talking about it. So you are there, and this episode is all yours because you are going to do most of the talking. I'm just going to put on my expressions on the face and say, hello, hi, that was fantastic. That was superb. My darling, just carry on. So now I would love to know what inspired you to be who you are today and a little bit about your life as a child to who you are today so that we
yes.
know that where are you coming from, where's your originality, who is your husband apart from what you told just right now. So let me have your beautiful words coming in from yourself.
Okay. So I grew up in a very religious home. Very strict, very strict home. We went to church 3 times a week, sometimes four. My mom actually came from a Philippines missionary background. So we were
Oh
like, yeah, we were like
God.
strict. And the type of church that we went to, if I wore something like this, The no, the elders would have said, "Go home. You need to put on a dress, cover yourself." Right. So
True.
I grew up thinking that the woman's body was dirty. You couldn't,
Oh,
you couldn't show it. You couldn't show it.
okay.
I grew up thinking that sex, the conversation about sex, the air of having confidence, I grew up thinking all of it was wrong, because not only did the church, preach, you need to humble yourself, you need to cover yourself, you need to keep all those things private. You don't even talk about those things with your women friends. Like that's how strict it was. We literally were told, shh, you know?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
here I am, a soul that is born, like I literally, Gurleen, ever since I was a kid, I have been like a person who was attracted to the body. Like I just visually would look at people, you're hot, you're sexy, you're hot, but I had to keep it to myself because it was told it was dirty and all that. And then even with my friends when we were young girls, we didn't think that we could just have an open conversation about what was normal and what wasn't normal. We had to go into the bathroom and hide our conversations. So everything was hidden, 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 hidden.
True.
Now, up until maybe I was a high school, when my body started to develop, I still remember my father saying to me, "Heather, you can't wear that. You can't wear that. You're going to attract the wrong attention."
Tension. Yeah.
And so I was never comfortable. And I actually was telling our mutual friend, Michelle, I still remember this one time when all the neighbor kids, my sister and I, and all of the boys, all the girls in the neighborhood, we lived in this really rural small town, and we went out to play, and we were all down by like the horses and just joking around, and we had built these haystacks so that we could
Oh,
climb in and just hide and have our like private, just time, just time being with kids without our parents seeing and feeling like we were controlled by them, right? But I still remember this
true.
one time coming out of the haystacks and my dad being
Woo!
like this with the binoculars. Where are my girls? Where are my
Yeah,
girls?
I
What
can
are my girls doing?
just doing. Yeah.
So I just felt like I didn't have any time with myself to just be myself. I felt like I had to stuff myself down. Everything that I was craving was wrong. And I actually felt like something was wrong with me, Gurleen. I remember in my
Mhm.
private time reading my Bible and, having that communion time with God. And I remember saying to God, if feeling sexy, if feeling confident, if desiring sex, if desiring, to get to know my body, to get to touch myself, to get to know my body, to get to know my body with someone else, like what does that feel like? If I'm having these desires, like why? Like if it's
Why?
wrong,
Yeah.
I used to say to God, if it's wrong, why do I
Do you
desire
have?
this?
Yeah.
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 If it's so wrong, what? Because God created all of us, right? So
True.
if God created me and He on purpose created me and my personality, why is it so wrong that I'm feeling this? So about 2025 or so, I started to question that. I was like, okay, if this is so wrong and God created me and he knew everything about me. He knew what my desires were going to be. He knew all of that. And he loves me. God is love. And if God loves me, and if God put love in me, and if God loves me, how can this be wrong? How can this be wrong?
Yeah. That's
So,
fantastic thought because once you're born, you need to question yourself constantly, and that's such a evolving thought you had at the age of 25, Heather, that's something amazing that you questioned your inner self. So somewhere from there, I think I'm sure that you must have got that enlightened thought somewhere.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Gurdev, for joining in. Thanks a lot, Harsh, for joining in. We are happy to have you and just listen to something which is exciting enough. Thanks a lot, Tisha Short. Good morning. I'm here. Gargi, hello, Gurleen and Heather Tucker. Due to net issue, I'm late to come live. Not a problem. Way to go, Gurleen Khokhar. Thanks a lot, mwah, 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 everyone who are there. It's something that we are sharing, something that's night here and morning there. So across the globe, we are firing something that's important for us to know. So carry on. There was something exciting that you were supposed to share at the age of 25.
Mm-hmm. So 25-year-old, that is when I first got married. Okay. My two older boys are from that marriage. Now, in that marriage, even my husband at that time, who's obviously now my ex-husband, when I would want to dress up, even just wearing lingerie and things like that, he actually was like, "Why are you wearing that? That looks slutty.
Oh,
That's too slutty." So I found inside my marriage even that I could not be myself. And I thought, this is weird, because I thought when you're married, everything's cool. You can, express yourself and all that. So that marriage only lasted for 4 years. Then I met Chuck. So I met Chuck when my middle son, Michael, was not even a year old. So he's
I like his name. I like his name, Chuck.
Thank you.
Nice.
So yeah, my middle son's only known Chuck as his father. My husband ended up adopting my boys because my ex ended up just going away. And so God knew that all of this was going to happen to lead up, to today. So my husband actually has very similar background as me. He also grew up in a Christian home, very strict upbringing as well. And so we have learned a lot about each other along the way. My husband is way more insecure and shy than I am. And so he's allowed me to take that lead in the bedroom.
Woo, that is fantastic.
which is really awesome.
Kudos.
But for a long time, I was not comfortable, even still, even though he accepted me and everything, I still was like, is this okay? I don't want to be sent, away from God. I was really nervous to lose my relationship with God, to lose the respect of people in the church, to lose my friends, to be judged by other people, to be rejected by other people. All of that stuff was just so controlling of me. And so in my marriage, we went through a lot of stuff together. 2 miscarriages, which caused a lot of grief and trauma and pain. And so through that's how I gained my weight, is I ate my way through the pain. And then I came out of that and I was like, oh my God. Like, I knew my pants were getting tighter. I knew I was getting bigger size clothes, but I didn't really know until like I had that awakening thing. And what helped that to happen is my mom had gotten diagnosed with breast cancer, and then my dad got diabetes. And I was like, Heather, you've got these 3 boys. You need to start taking care of yourself and get serious about your health. And so I went on a journey. It took me about a year to lose 100 pounds. And
that is superb. I mean, so I need to know, what is the time period of your, losing the weight? Was it in a year or something like that? After you realized that you needed to, 1 year. So specifically 1 year, that's 12 months that you shed 100 pounds that you are saying. And that's fantastic. So what made you start this thought of, shedding this weight? Was it the diseases in your family, or was it your own inner calling that you need to just be on the right track to look after the responsibilities that you're having in your relationship? Was it that, or was it something that was that you were lacking when you are fat, or when you are, a little bit overweight? I believe that you cannot enjoy your sexual life as well. So somewhere, what kind of thoughts actually took you to this calling? So let's have that conversation as to how and where did you think that this is going to be the right way?
Well, I was still a horn dog when I was heavy, so that did not impact my sex at all. No, I was still like, give it to me all the time. No, what
Wow.
really did it was I started to imagine me dying and my boys being without a mom. And I started to
Oh,
imagine my husband being without a wife and that extra support system to raise the kids. And I just started to feel guilty and scared. And I didn't want to leave them without their mom. I
your
didn't want to,
mom.
I didn't want someone else to raise them. I wanted it,
Great.
to be me. So that was
Yeah.
like, get your shit
Wow.
together, Like, come
That's fantastic. Get your shit together. My dear
yes.
viewers who are watching, you don't need to feel hopeless because there's something that she's sharing with you all. If you are weighty and if you have put on weight, you still can have that dream of losing that weight. And Hita is going to tell us what she did to be who she is right now. So let's have her hearing what she is going to be talking all about. It's crazy, it's fun, and it's exciting. Woo! Yeah, carry
Yeah.
on.
So when I was heavy, we did not have sex as often. But then we
Okay.
finally had our third boy after the miscarriage. And then I was cleared to have sex. And I thought, okay, here it is. Let's go. And for some reason, Chuck did not want to have sex with me. As a matter of fact, the very first time that I approached him for sex, he actually pushed me off of him.
Woo, that is
That,
something that's something honest confession on my show, my dear friends. This is something a personal story that is trying to be something that's special for me because someone who has taken the courage to speak about her own personal life in of a relationship wherein she has been experiencing these kind of stages where her husband has said no to her for sex. That is very important because even women have the right to ask for sex, and that's why I am here hosting this episode because I do feel that there is no harm in having a good sexual life with the partners you have mentally and mutually agreed upon. And that's where I am talking something sense because people are talking about living extramarital and destructive relationships. Whatever I'm talking about is something that is exciting enough for the Indian viewers because they do not talk about it. Everything is under the blanket. So please pull out your blankets. It is winters, I understand, but warm up with the conversations we are having because this is something terrific enough, and you need to know that your host is bold and beautiful. And with all the flying kisses, Heather is going to share something that's very personal, and I salute her for bringing this on this episode. Yes, Heather.
Gurleen, I love you.
I love you. I honor you. We are sexy, and the world knows it. Yeah.
Okay, so
So,
yeah, like you can imagine what that did to my psyche. I, when I was little, my parents got divorced, and I remember my dad driving away, and I remember the feeling of abandonment. So when my husband pushed me off of him, I actually took that as rejection. And I was like, why doesn't he want me? Right. So then I waited for like a few days. I came back and I started to approach him again. Same thing. This went on for a long time. He was either
oh,
he was either tired, his stomach was upset, like it was always something, stressed out, whatever. And I really felt rejected. This sexlessness, this sexless relationship. Now, we weren't completely sexless. We did have sex, but it would be like months, in between. But that actually went on for 12 years.
oh
12 years.
gosh,
12
my
years.
gosh.
12 years.
So
And
let me ask you, I'm cutting you short here. Hita, was it very, very draining for you mentally to go through this 12 years of sexless married life? I'm sure there are many couples who will be watching this later, and they are still couples. They pretend to be in love. I'm so
yep.
sorry. I'm apologetic for even stating this, that there are some people who post their pictures showing a lot of love together, but I'm knowing that from inside they have a void that is actually visible to the partners they are in love with. So there are flames and there are outside flames, where people are approaching them just to release their stress, and that's not commitment to your own partner. In any ways, you're cheating on your partner, by the way. So the viewers who are watching this episode, there is something I'm talking which is sense and sensible enough. If you are losing upon the passion in your life, what to do, how to do, and where to hold your horses is something that Heather is going to talk about 12 long years of sexless married life, any lady can actually commit a suicide or feel abandoned or feel ignored or drop a man at the drop of a hat. I would definitely drop a man if he's not giving me sex. That's open on this conversation. Because somewhere I feel that mental health wellness is somewhere related to your expressing your desire. So if a man doesn't give you that kind of satisfaction, why are you having him in your life? In fact, it is mutual. We need to understand the needs, and it is not always subjugated to the gender concept only, that a man has a right or the priority to only ask for sex and the woman has to just lay down. Sorry, my dear viewers who's watching this, there is nothing like that. You need to understand that if a man needs sex, even a woman needs it. So yes, Heather, carry on. I just love the conversation.
Yes. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of my friends that said, "Why are you still staying? I would have divorced him years ago." But the thing is I love this man. Like, amazing. Like, he shows love in other ways that are just as amazing. But for me as a sexual being, like I told you, I'm so sexual, and that's how I receive love. So, like everyone out there, it's important to understand your partner's love language. If
True.
they receive love, if they feel loved from physical touch, and you're over there trying to say I love you through a paycheck or through cooking dinner, that's nice. That's nice, but they're not going to receive it. They're not going to feel it. So it's
Feel
very
it.
important
Yeah.
to understand how your
True.
partner receives love. And we did not, Chuck and I did not know that until 3 years ago, actually. So how this actually progressed was I had lost my weight, and this is the part of my story that I do have a little bit of shame over because of the religious background. So I'm gonna share it. I might cry, but it's just what it is.
No, no,
So
no, no, no. You're
in
not
the
going to cry. I'm not going to make you cry here because this is a special episode, and I'm sure that you're going to receive abundance of love from all the viewers across. And this is from my side, the best soul who's arriving and sharing something I really like, because till now people do not know what is the bold outlook and how to talk about sex. Why are we doing this, and why this Indian lady is so much talking about sex? There are different concepts. People know about Gurleen in a way where there is serious outlook, there is a psychologist talking, there is an author talking, there's a writer, editor talking, a former model talking, but someone who also deserves love, very candidly open on this conversation. Even I have had my affairs with men where I have talked openly, and I feel that needs to be talked about so that people know who we are. At least we are
yes,
clear to ourselves. We are like
yes,
open book. We need to be very clear. So, like in the future, if I need to marry someone, that love has to come through the physical touch. It has to be through that more so even, and then the verbal thing, obviously, because it carries alongside your culture, your lifestyle. Whether it's luxurious, then you would want to go into someone's hand who's having that kind of financial situation that's better off. So
right,
something that I have seen, I have grown, is something I'm sharing, and that's a very honest opinion, and that's why I'm holding these deep talks, because it's all about deep things, deep feelings. So yes, Heather, you were about to say, and don't cry. I know that it's emotional, but yes, you are with a psychologist, and I'm sure that you would not cry, but you put a smile on your face, because this is the first, honestly, best episode of the entire episode still now.
thank you. If I start to cry, I'll just pull my lashes off.
Yeah, yeah, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do that. And
Okay,
anyways, you look
so
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, so here's basically what happened. I had lost my weight. Okay, I was feeling fucking sexy, and hopefully it's
Yes.
okay. I cuss on here. I was feeling so good about myself. I was feeling so good. My clothes were fitting, right? I saw the light in my eyes again. My smile had come back,
Wow.
right? Now in my business, I was posting my before and after. So you can imagine I was getting attention from men.
Men.
Okay. Yes. And so sometimes girls, but mostly men. And so
Yeah.
I was getting messages like, oh my God, congratulations. You look hot. You look sexy. I'd like to fuck you. Your husband must
Woo!
feel so lucky. He must take you in his arms every single night. and show you love. And I'm over here reading those things, crying because I'm like, he's not.
My emotions,
He's
yeah.
not. Like, he's not. I'm not getting that. And I'm feeling horrible about myself. And I'm over here trying to run my freaking business.
Business, yeah.
Feeling alone while my husband is sitting right next to me. My husband was sitting right next to me while I'm getting these messages from men. Clueless. Fucking
Clueless, yeah.
clueless. So
Yeah.
stupid. So anyway, of course, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lonely. And these men are giving me attention. Maybe I'll just flirt back a little bit, you know? And so I did.
That's
I
nice.
flirted
That's
back. I
fantastic.
flirted
I
back.
like that. Let's flirt a little bit about the idea that there is so much of love coming in from. And why not, my dear viewers, if you feel that you are lonely and hopeless, you don't need to, put on the wires around your neck and commit a suicide. You always have a hope there. You can always go out, chill out with someone, and think about your life and in a better way. Right. So next, what happened, Heather?
So I started to flirt a lot. I got myself a Snapchat.
Woo!
My husband didn't know. I'm sitting right next to him on Snapchat. All these men are sending me their pictures, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, yes, you know? And so, but I held back because of my religious upbringing. I was like, I don't want to cheat. I don't want to be that person, you know?
True.
So what ended up happening was came to Chuck and I said, you know what? I'm right about to cheat and I don't want to. Is there any way that you would be open to go to counseling with me? And he said, no. Like he said no for a long time. But
Oh
then
my
when I
gosh.
finally gave him the ultimatum, so that's what it took for us. I had to ultimately say, you're going to counseling or bye. Like I'm out because I cannot live like this. I feel like a caged butterfly. I feel like I've gotten my wings and I'm bumping up
Wings.
against
Yeah.
the wall. Like I'm bumping up against and nowhere to express it,
Nowhere
you
to
know?
go. Yeah. Nowhere
Yeah.
to go.
So he finally said, yes, let's go. We go to counseling. We go for like 3-4 months. It started to get better. We started to have more sex. But then the counselor
Woo!
got,
That's nice.
yeah.
That's an appreciation, my dear viewers, for a counselor. I am a counselor, and I feel so honored when people come and say, "Oh my God, we've had a good sexual life after going visiting to a psychologist." Because Indian people, they need to understand visiting someone and asking for assistance in your relationship is the utmost important thing that you can do, and that is important whether it's premarital, marital, or any issue. You need to, and in case if you have doubts, you can always listen to what Heather is saying. If she could feel relieved, I think I'm sure the ones who will be watching this can pass on the information and they can always hit back on us through email ID gurleencoker@gmail.com. And I will be there resolving your issues, whether personal or professional. Yes, Heather. So what next? I'm so curious to know about your story.
So during counseling, you know how after a while, after the surface stuff,
Yes.
then they start to go deep, right? They want to know
Yeah.
about your childhood and all the stuff. And
Tough.
so
Yeah.
the counselor started to go deep and Chuck did not like it. And
Okay.
I remember the last time that we went, the counselor said, are you hearing what she's saying? Are you you're because he was like, the counselor was like, you're being defensive, Chuck, but are you actually hearing what she's about to cheat on you? Like, what are you going to
Yes.
do? Like, what it's you, like, what are you going to do? Right. So after that counseling appointment, we came home and he's like, I'm not going again. Okay. He's like, we can do this on our own. I know what to do, whatever. Okay. So it was fine for a couple of months. And then he went back. And then I started to see the sexlessness again. And I was like, what?
Woohoo!
So then I went to
Wow,
them.
finally.
I know.
Yeah.
So then I went to Chuck and I said, okay, like what are we gonna do? And he's
Yeah.
like, okay, what about an open marriage? And
Wow.
I was like, what's an open marriage? So then I had to understand what that was. Okay. He
Okay.
said that he was fine with it. He's like, if you are still going to be with me, I know that you want sex way more than I do. I just don't desire it as much. He's like, if you could still be with me and you could still give me love and not leave, but you can go out and like have those extramarital things. He's like, I'm fine if it's going to make you happy. His thing is like,
Woohoo! That is something, an honest revelation, and I'm feeling so very happy. I'm so very proud of the fact that you have shared something that takes a lot of courage, my dear friend. And I'm sure the viewers who are watching, they are going to learn something from Heather's experience of a personal relationship. She's talking about open marriage concept, and that's such a fantastic phenomena. I'm liking this because there are some males, you get married to, they are so possessive that
Yeah.
they don't want you to stand across a man as well as stand alongside a man to have a conversation, and they're having eyes on their own females to be clothed fully, whereas they want a hot girlfriend. So, my dear viewers, have a look. We are sexy, we are bold, and we are the ones having wings, and we are not going to be caged. So, that is what Heather is talking about, and that's what I can relate to. And in my
Hmm.
personal life as well, I've had more of attention from males, but females, I'm sure they'll be jealous about it. But then I have nothing to do. We are there and we are sharing our happiness, and that's just so candid and that's
Hmm.
so deep. Yes, Ether, what next?
Okay. So I was like, oh my God, yay, And so I already knew the person that I was going to have this like sexy time with, because we were already talking and we were already flirting, and like there was already that connection, right? And so I went to this person and I said, okay, let's do it. I was very shy at first because you can imagine I had not had sex,
Yes. Yeah.
and so down there it was tight because I just
Yes.
wasn't used to it, right? Now, this person that I was with, I actually had sex with him for about 9 months. This person opened me up in ways that I had never knew was
Never
possible.
imagined. Yeah.
I never
That's
I never knew my body could do some of the things that it could do. And he wanted me. He made me feel like I was wanted and valued and understood. Now, while that 9 months, I will never regret it. I loved every single moment of it. I felt the most sexiest I ever had. I just loved it so much. What was missing, however, and what I thought I could find in an extramarital person, was that soul love connection that I had with Chuck that I was actually missing. And when I came to that realization that I could not actually get that from this other person, I said goodbye. And I was like, I'm going to miss you. By the way, he still reaches out. He still reaches out sometimes, but I'm like, mm-mm.
bye bye.
So yeah, I'm like, I had that experience. I'm done. So I basically said goodbye. I came back to my husband and I, told him about the whole experience. He was very open minded. He loved hearing about everything. He loved knowing that I really wanted to actually be with him, right? And so what ended up happening was I came back and it was like kind of starting over, where I had to get to know him again and what it felt like to kiss him again and to have sex with him again and all those kinds of things. But it was so amazing because I actually felt inside this resolve that this is where I need to be. This is where I want to be. And I'm really, really good, with wanting to actually be here. And
Be
so
here.
in that process, I started to pray again. I started to open myself up to God again. And I was just asking God, what can you teach me in this relationship? Is there anything that I can actually do? Can I take responsibility for some of the reasons possibly as to why we were being sexless? Maybe it's not just what I think. Maybe there's something deeper. And so I
Super.
started to read my Bible. The very first thing that I saw that God pointed out to me was in Proverbs, I think it's 23, 24, around there. It actually
Okay.
says that it's better to live on the roof of a house than to live with a nagging wife. A
Woo!
nagging wife. And when I read that, I get goosebumps just freaking thinking
Goosebumps. Yeah.
about this. Yes, because
Oh my God. Your mindset
I
is
was like,
open. Yeah.
that's
Woo.
exactly what I've been doing the entire time that we
Pirate
had been
chant.
together. I was like constantly reminding him, it's been this amount of time. I was circling the calendar and showing him the last date that we were having sex.
Having
I was
sex.
like
Yeah.
saying, God doesn't want us to not have sex unless we agree, and we're not in agreement. So I was just like bringing it up, bringing it up, bringing it up. And you know what? I did not realize, Gurleen, that I was actually a huge part of what was pushing him away.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
I
That's
did
a
not realize.
revelation. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize. And so when I realized that, God said, you will no longer complain to your husband. You will no longer ask him why it's been so long. Why don't you want sex? What's wrong with you? Are you gay? Like all the questions, you know? And so he's like, you're not going to ask him that anymore. You're just going to enjoy life. You're going to allow life to happen. You're going to allow the sex to come. You're going to enjoy it and be happy. And it's not going to matter if you guys both don't orgasm. You're not going to look for the end result. You're just going to enjoy each other. Everything that you want is on the other side of
Side
enjoying
up is
each other and
join.
allowing and being open. And so that's what we've been doing for 3 years. And our sex life, it's not every day. Like, you know, I get clients all the time. They're like, well, how often do you guys have sex? Because aren't you supposed to have sex like so many times a week? And
So
I'm
many
like,
times.
no, that's the thought process that we were taught, that a normal relationship, if it's normal, it looks like it's having sex this many times a week. And that's actually not it. That's
That's
not
not the
it.
that. That's not
That's
it.
not what we
Yeah.
look for. What we look for is when it comes, how is it? Are we enjoying ourselves? Are we
Enjoying it.
open? Are we free to say,
Yes,
this is
exactly.
this is what pleases me. Will you please do this? Like learning how to be confident in the bedroom, learning how to step into your sexual power, learning how to say what you want, learning how, and
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you this because, and I was reminded about this morning as I was in meditation and I was getting ready and I was grounding myself. God was like, Heather, remember you have a client in India. You need to bring her up on
Woo!
this call. And I was like, oh
Woo!
my God, thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So what has happened, you guys, this is so amazing. Okay. As I have worked on my own self and my own relationship, and I've been posting more pictures with Chuck, it started with other people being able to see without me even saying that we are better and we're having more sex. I was getting
True.
messages from people that were saying, Heather, what's going on with you and Chuck? You guys are smiling more. There's more light in your eyes. You have like this glow, you know, about
Glow.
you. And so it was being seen by other people before I even started talking about it. And so what that did for me was like, holy shit, like I can actually take my story and I can actually then turn around and help other women that were in the same boat as me
Exactly.
right
To a to a
now.
to a different level. My dear viewers, thanks a lot, Mudit, for joining in. Hello. A very, very beautiful evening to you. And this is a special episode because it's my birthday and it cannot be without a lot of love. So I am expecting some good handsome hunks to throw in their proposals for me and take me out for the whole week of the January. And the one I would love to spend 1 hour at least, or 3 hours or 6 hours with him, knowing that person, who that person would be. And I'm so sure Heather is sharing something that's really very relevant, that's to a point, something that has hit her life in a way where she has faltered somewhere, she has got enlightened somewhere, she's got assistance from a counselor, and she's talking something that's called, in a way, deep. In a word, I would say that it's deep, but it takes a lot of confidence, my dear friends. It's not easy for having these conversations. It's not easy as a host to make the other person feel comfortable as I do. And I'm sure that the courage to even host the show is courage enough, in a word which I cannot even define, because this is something that holds me in a powerful position to even state that I am very lucky. I am blessed by Lord above to be born on a day where people are celebrating this, and I'm gifted to even celebrate with other people and share happiness with other people. So that's the reason why I brought Heather Tucker in, because this is something that's called deep talks, and it talks only about something that's honest, candid, truthful, and it sexifies not only the relationship but a relationship with your own inner self. And that's really very important. The glow will not come, my dear friends, if you are not honest with your own self. The energy that comes from within me is the Lord who has designed us in a way where if we have something, we need to carry forward that potential to raise the bar and to say three cheers. And that's how Heather is talking and trying to say something that's meaningful enough. And we need to applaud her, appreciate her, and push many females forward who are encouraging enough to all those souls who are hopeless, tired in a relationship, and they are having toxic relationships. Kindly take assistance. And yes, Heather, what next? So what, it's very interesting, it's non-ending, and I would love to know what next happened.
Oh, it feels so good to just share this with you guys. Thank you. So basically what happened was when I had that realization, like, Heather, you are on this planet for more. You are on this planet to make a difference. You had to go through all of this pain to then realize your purpose. And
True.
I truly believe in the depths of my soul that our purpose comes from pain. That's what I
Pain.
see in my own life. I've seen it in my clients' life. It's just been amazing. And so what ended up happening was I was enlightened into what I wanted to actually share with other women. I wanted to come forward and I wanted to be truthful about my religious upbringing. I wanted to be truthful about the fact that I had an open relationship. I wanted to be truthful about the fact that we had been sexless for 12 years. And these are all things that most of us hide. We're
Hi.
ashamed and we
Yeah.
don't know who to talk to about it. We even think our girlfriend next door that's smiling all the time, she'll never understand. Her life is perfect. You don't know what is going on behind those closed doors. If you go back into my pictures on my Facebook profile, and
Yeah, I have this.
I encourage you to do this. Go back 2012, 11, 10, 13, 14 even. You will see me not with a full smile. You will see that even though I've lost my weight, there's death in my eyes. Like, you can
Yes.
actually tell, like, you can see it.
True.
The light is just
True.
not there. And so my main mission is to help other women. I want you to know that you're not alone. If you are
True.
sexless, if you are in a relationship, that's what I was going to tell you. My Indian client, that's right. I got to remember this.
Woo!
My
Indian
Indian
client.
client, okay, I want to say her name so bad, but I know I can't. So my my Indian client, she came to me and she said, Heather, you have no idea what it's like over here in India. She's like, I was raised to be quiet. I was
Yes.
raised to not have sex before married. So both my husband and I were virgins when we got married. And she said, we have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea how to talk to each other. We have no idea how to be like comfortable even sharing what turns us on, what things that we're attracted to. She's like, I've never even had an orgasm, is what she told me. And when
Yes. Yes.
when she told me that, I was like, oh,
My
hell no.
God.
Hell no. I was like, that's the first thing that I want to help you with. We're going to get you to have an orgasm. I said,
True.
let's not worry about your relationship with your husband. Let's get you feeling good first. Let's get you
True.
to feel comfortable
You.
with your own
True.
body. Let's get you to feel comfortable touching yourself and
Touching.
maybe
Yes.
turning on your
Exactly.
favorite song and, like, just learning
Yeah.
how to be sexy with yourself. Like, that's where it starts, is like, you
True.
feel sexy with yourself, and then that comes out, and then your
Out. True.
husband sees it, and then he's like, damn,
Woo!
get
Yeah.
over here, woman,
Here.
right? Yeah.
I
So
like that. Get over here. I just love this episode. Woohoo!
yeah, so you guys will be happy to know I was able to help her to have an orgasm, not only an orgasm, but she now has 3 to 4 in one session. I
Wow.
have taught her how to breathe, how to
Breathe.
get in touch with her breath, how to get in touch with her womb, how to heal her womb, how to breathe out through her, like, her woman parts.
Yes,
And she
exactly.
now is like the most sexual that she's ever been. She's fully come out, and she's definitely a butterfly now, and her husband loves it. Her husband actually came to me privately and said, I don't even know the work that you're doing with her, but whatever it is, you have woken her up and our relationship will never be the same. And I was like,
That's
ah!
fantastic. That's fantastic. It's phenomenal because, my dear friends, and that's what I'm trying to do through Deep Talk somewhere, because I'm the only Indian soul who has actually inked a story of my own divorce battle in Breakdown to Wake Up, curated by Jocelyn Bellows and published in United Kingdoms by Dawn Bates. And it's an honor for me to be the first time international author standing amongst 14 foreigners, and it takes a lot where Michelle, Beata, Gary, all of the Americans in Denver and in Colorado Springs are supporting an Indian soul, and they have had their share of having me on their virtual episodes where there were a lot of downloads. More than 3,000 people watched the episodes, and I was ranked number one, talking about sex, sensuality, and whatnot. So, as an Indian, I have achieved that, and I feel so amazing. And I feel that this is the best gift I could have on my birthday, a lady sharing something about sex, her life, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I will, as a relationship expert, as a psychologist, will fulfill her dream as well. And we would definitely collaborate on some levels or the other in the coming year. And I'm sure there's a question for you, Hither, from a visually impaired soul friend of mine, Gargi Haldar. She says, when a lady is ignored for love, sex, marriage, when that blind lady is self independent in all aspects of life, then what's the way to deal with stress in the mind? So, would you like to answer that question?
So she's feeling ignored. So she's
Exactly.
independent. She's learned how to be independent on her own through her physical impairment, right?
True.
Did
True.
she say that? Did she say that she's married?
No, she's single.
Okay, but she's looking for
Yeah,
love.
she's looking for physical love, but she says that she's independent. And what should be the way to deal with the stress in the mind? Because in traditional Indian homes, you are not allowed to go beyond a certain point before marriage. And then I certainly believe, because I know her very well, that she is a virgin. So at the age of 32, being a virgin is a bad thing, according to me. Because I feel honestly that until you explore your mindset, you do not come to know where life is and what life is holding for you. The
Mm.
mistake I did at the point of my own marriage was the same thing. At 27, I was a virgin when I got married. So this is an open, honest, candid confession on this show, because there is something related to being restrictive to your own inner self. It could be family
Mm.
situations, could be any stress in your mind. So, my dear viewers who are watching this, any kind of stress in your mind, any kind of thoughts that are pressurizing you for not being who you are, is something that you need to look into and need to evolve from that stagnant viewpoint. You need to take help, you need to take assistance. So, what is your take on a woman asking you how to deal with the stress in mind? So, maybe she's in a dilemma whether to go ahead with someone and have physical love and enjoy life, or get married and then enjoy life. So, she's maybe
Yeah.
asking that question from you.
I personally, because I don't know culture, like culture
Mm.
wise, what's acceptable. I just know based off of my one personal client from India. But
Yeah,
my advice based off of the client that I've worked with so far from India is, you know, you probably are feeling like she did, that getting in touch with your body might feel wrong, might feel dirty, you might feel shame, you might feel guilt. So my personal personal opinion is to learn to figure out a way to learn to let that go and to understand that God created our bodies to experience the pleasure of sex, to experience the pleasure of understanding our body,
true.
understanding what brings ourselves pleasure. And I will say that if you can get in touch with your body and understand what it feels like to experience pleasure by yourself, what that's
Yeah,
going to do for you is when you do come into a relationship with a man, you're not going to expect him to be, providing you everything that you need, because you'll already know what excites you, what gives you pleasure. You're going to have more of a voice to know what to tell him that you like. So I
true.
really feel and believe that if you can get in touch with yourself first, that will actually make you a better partner for when that person does come to you, because
Come. Yeah,
you will fully be empowered on your own. You won't be
true.
looking to anybody to give you what you can give yourself.
True, true. And for that matter, I think that's very, very beautifully stated by you, Hither, because somewhere I feel that there are souls who do not know how to love themselves, their body. Like I dance my heart out. When I dance, people call it flirty dance or sensual dance or erotic dance. And some men also shag in the bathrooms watching that dance. And I feel very, very happy because somewhere, if my mother was a good dancer, she was born in Africa. If she is bold enough and courageous enough in those eras, like in 80s and 70s, she used to be the woman who used to drive the bikes and all that stuff. And I feel so honored. I'm so blessed that I had grandmothers from Germany, from different cultures. So I am a mixed. I would say that I have been raised in a background where there are a lot of cultures talking a lot about what one is and how one can learn from every culture. One can be friendly with everybody. One can have a warm heart for everyone, and that's basically what we are here on this planet for. If it's not love, then what is it? Is
Yes.
enough of wealth the only thing that we are raising, or we are trying to copy or imitate or run a race for? I think wealth is not going to give you an orgasm, or wealth is not going to give you that happiness which everybody loses. Even if there is if you have a Louis Vuitton bag, handbag or something, a woman might feel very happy carrying it and showing it to the friends. But if you do not have someone who can love you, I think you have lost it. You have lost it very badly, because somewhere you're trying to fake up your pictures on Facebook and trying to portray a different self, which you are not. So I think it's better to have a good relationship than to have many items at your place in the house. Because even if there are four items in your house and if you have a good, healthy relationship, you are having that love, which I think is unconditional, and that can be supported, and that can raise beautiful children, even if they are adopted or something like that. Because that is my take on life, and that's my take on living life unconditionally, and that is with no conditions. Your love and relationship should not be holding any conditions and expectations from the partners, because that brings in a lot of hopes and unnecessary hopes that spoils the outlook on living relationships as beautifully as they can, actually. Because everyone should realize that the other partner also has needs and desires and wants, and they need to be fulfilled, because they are instinctual desires and needs. As you're born, you have that. Nobody teaches a child to suck the nipples to take the milk. It's instinctual desire, and it is something that a male feels pleasure in doing that, because that gives a lot of relief to a male. So what if and there is one more thing. There is a lot of taboo about not talking about the bigger bust and the small bust, and there are a lot of body parts people talk about. I feel body shaming is one thing. People should stop doing it big time, and they should not overrate or underrate sex. Sex is important in a relationship. It should not be neglected, ignored. But even men and women should not body shame each other on certain aspects, because you don't know what the other person has faced, endured, and have been through. So don't
Yep.
compare, don't compete, and know your own self to even point fingers at others, because pointing is not going to resolve your inner self. Do inner work before even talking this, what I am talking, because it takes a lot to be on this episode. It takes a lot for us to talk about something that we are responsible for. So if we are leading our lives this way, I'm sure that you can actually try to learn from it, but not copy. So everybody cannot be Gurleen. I'm sure that everybody cannot be as bold and beautiful as me. But what I'm trying to say as a psychologist is your mental health is really very important. And what Heather is saying is something that she has been through. And it's not necessary that everybody has a sexless married life in the relation, but I'm sure the majority of the people on this planet are having the same issues. Everybody undergoes a period where there is a lack of sex in lives, and they need to evoke that kind of passions. They need to take out their partners for a dinner, for a drive, or for a movie, or for something that actually lets them know that they are being wanted. And because of deprived attention at the later ages, I'm seeing that the onset of the beauty pageants have happened at every age. Miss Plus Size, and on many many pageants I'm seeing across the globe, on Facebook, on Instagram, there are people coming up and showcasing their bodies and in different attires. So basically the models coming in and the other people who are shooting up for gaining that kind of attention is all because you need to feel important. You need that attention. You are deprived of it at your home. You're deprived of it in your relationship, and that's what we're talking about. And there is nothing to be ashamed of it. If it is making sense to the viewers, I'm sure that you will get a lesson or two from this. That stop posting your romantic pictures of the bedrooms on the Facebook, because that's not going to ignite the spark in your relation. What's going to ignite the spark is, with whom you are, and you need to work in there. You don't need to work in beautifying your images, but you need to work on the real life, not the real life. And then do not compete, do not compare. But if you have that, it will show on your face. And that's what Heather is talking about. It's talking about originality. She has
Mm.
shared her pictures because she's been through, and that's what she's talking about. If you look at her previous pictures and if you look at her current pictures, she's talking about the journey from there to now. There
Mhm.
to now. So
Yep.
that's being reflected. So be reflective of who you are. And people would love to know you and would love to know you as an individual. That's what I believe in. And that's what Heather is all sharing about. Yes, Heather,
Mhm.
what after that? I mean, where did you get this idea of, building up the passion to serve the global people, like on this area of sexifying the relationships? Do you feel that it's really important? And why do you feel that this is the need of the hour? And what tips can you give to the viewers who would be watching us and who are watching us about sexifying their relationship? So what are the tips that, apart from dancing, because I have understood that you need to glorify yourself as well, you need to work on your passions, you need to work on your inner work, you need to meditate, you need to relax your mind, you need to free yourself and all that stuff. So I would love to listen from you. What is your take on it?
Well, I truly feel one, you have to know who you are. If you don't know who you are and you're looking to somebody else to tell you who you are, that's never going to work. Never, never, never. And that's what I was doing and what a lot of my clients do as well. So, what you need to do is come back to self. And sometimes that means taking a break from social media, getting rid of the noise, getting quiet, getting really in tune, and really learning, really taking advantage and learning who you are, what you love, what excites you. Because once you can step fully into yourself, everything else falls into place. The relationships, the money,
True,
okay? Business ideas,
true.
friendships. Look, if I had never started talking about sex, my friend Michelle would not have said, you need to talk to Gurleen. Like, you just don't
Woo!
know.
I love you,
Yes, you
Michelle. I
just
just
don't
love you,
know.
darling. Woo!
You don't know what good can come from you getting so in touch with yourself and then starting to share that, you know?
Yes, yes,
So
yes. It's
I love
important.
you
It's
guys
important.
so much. Here's what I do now. Every single day on my Facebook, Instagram. I'm also on TikTok. I started to do some TikTok. I am just always out there sharing my experience, sharing my story, sharing how I understand where you are right now because I was there. I was you.
There.
And I just
Yeah.
really want you to know that there is better. The better
True.
starts with you, though. The better has to start with you. And when you choose to heal yourself, whatever that
True.
looks like, okay, the healing looks
True.
different for everybody. But when you choose to step in and say, yes, Heather, I want to heal myself so that I can actually learn what's causing me to hold back in life, what's causing me to not understand what it feels like to be empowered, to be confident, to be sexy. I can feel there's something holding me back. I don't know what it is. That's the work that I do. I work privately with people all the time. We are figuring it out together. We are figuring it out. So if you need help in this way, of course, reach out to me. I would love, love, love to do that. I'm sure Gurleen will put all of my contact information in there.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I would definitely do that. And the viewers who are watching us, I will definitely let you know. You can shoot out to me and I would let you connect to Hither. And this is my email ID. And you need to just know this, that it is my name and my surname, and you just need to drop your, queries on there. And for the very first time, I'm also sharing my number for a short span of time. So you are having 9646797080 there. So this is Deep Talks Virtual Reality on Love with Heather Tucker, and I'm sure that it is turning out to be an amazing birthday special episode, because this is something that I always wanted, a special guest to arrive and open up the conversation that till now, till date, has not been touched upon. It is something like me, Heather. It's something like me. So I wanted someone to, just come in when Michelle told me that you need to just get in touch with Heather. And I was like, woohoo, seeing your photographs and everything, you're talking about something that's bold. I said, oh my God, I think I'm going on a revolution. I'm going to bring all the Indian ladies out there, make a gang or a group, and then, maybe gentlemen as well. And then start doing some coffee virtual realities on sex, sensuality, and much more, because that's the need of the hour. Because as a psychologist, there are a lot of souls who have issues like premature ejaculation, who have issues they don't want to talk about because they
Yep.
feel, insecure talking about it, and they're living in their own comfort zone. So moving out of it, I feel that if that is an honest, candid confession to a psychologist, I think I am also doing a work which is difficult, but yet it is unbelievably truthful to an extent that I can help people. So if I can help people, then why not? So it's
Yes.
important for us to understand. And what would be the parting note before we end this conversation that you would love to talk about in your life that has given you enough of happiness, apart from getting back that sexiness in your relationship? How would you define yourself, Ethan, now? I would love to know that. And apart from that, a message for the viewers and for the host. And definitely I would connect many people to you, and we would remain in touch. But this is something that we are extending our love to you, and we are there with you. We are in full support, and I'm sure that Michelle has done a great job, so all the thanks to her as well. And I know that your family and your husband equally needs this appreciation, because somewhere, if it would not have been for your husband to understand you, you would not have been sitting right there. And I'm sure that your grandkids, your being a grandmother is going to be a new revelation for you, because they are going to learn a lot from you, Heather. And it takes a lot. It's an honor for you to share such things, and it's going to be watched by many people, I'm sure. The access to knowledge is a treasure box. It's a treasure box that we can keep, we can learn from, and we can achieve a lot of wealth, my dear friends. It's something that we are working on. It's not a joke.
Mm.
Anybody's life, anybody's experience isn't a joke. It is something that needs to be respected and looked upon as a higher degree of honor. And for me, her being on Deep Talks is something that I cannot express in words, because it takes a lot. Even any reality show, I haven't heard anyone talking so boldly about her own personal life. What she has done is something that needs adulation and standing ovation, and something that I feel very deeply touched. So this is something from my heart, Heather, because this takes a lot, and this takes. You are a terrific woman, and I just love you the way you are. You need to put on those lashes. You need to smile, and you need to carry on this, because we are learning from you, and we would definitely learn a lot from you. And I am going to make your story be there on the ink in the newspapers, because this is going to be terrifically amazing for the global audience to watch you. And I don't need those tears coming out, but I need the last come out with a smile. Woohoo! I'm cheering you up, so with a smile, with all that
Okay.
love, with all that blessings, because it's going to be my birthday soon, 1st of Jan. I'm waiting for it, and we are all going to celebrate virtual birthday. I'm sure the ones I will be on StreamYard, I would be waiting for all of you. I'll share a link with everybody on Facebook, and we will have drinks and we will have a birthday. And I'm sure that she's going to share some last message for the viewers and for the host. And she is just non ending, just dropping her tears down. So we need to put her smile back on the face. She's emotional, yet she is happy. And I'm sure that her inner self is really very happy listening to Gurleen, because somewhere I felt I did a terrific job enlightening herself to talk about these things. And it is amazing, my dear friends, to be a great orator, great speaker amongst the foreigners, because I always felt I had the power. I had the power to do it. And I did it today. And it's an honor for me. Thanks a lot, Heather. I hope you enjoyed this show. So this is the last message from your side to the host and the two viewers. I really would love you to end the show up in a beautiful way, the way you want it. My darling, I would want you to do that.
Thank you. This took a
Woo!
lot. No, it took a lot for me to share, because even on my Facebook, as I've been talking, I've gotten messages, hate messages from the religious community, They think that I'm going against God right now. And so I know inside my soul that I'm not, but you always get worried about what people are going to say, and like then you start to question yourself and all those things. And so my main goal and my heart for people is just to encourage you that if you have this desire and you want to learn how to raise your confidence, how to raise your sexual power, how to just really get in touch with who you are and give yourself permission to express it the way that feels so good to you. Oh my God, that's like the main thing that's coming through right now, is just
True.
getting to this place of expressing it the way that feels good to you. And that's going to look so different for every single person. So like Gurleen talked about not comparing yourself to other people. Like I have had to learn to come boldly with my story, and no matter what comes through on the other end as far as hate or anything, I know that the right people are going to hear the message that God wants me to share. And that is what's happening. Like, even though there's a little bit of hate, even though you might get a little bit of flack from your family about the decisions that you're wanting to do with learning how to step into your power, and they might not understand why you want to do it, because it was never a need for their family and they never needed to do it and they were able to wait until they got married. But no, you have this desire, and you need to learn to be okay with that and to step into that and to just know that you're doing what's right for you, because your happiness is on the line. Your happiness is on the line. Your sexy confidence is on the line. Your best relationship ever is on the line. And so you need to learn to, yes, step into who you truly are and just live it with this yes and amen, and just go for it. The end.
True, true. That's fantastic. Just go for it. And she's so emotional, my dear friends. There's a beautiful thing that I always say to others who are watching this episode. I'm so sure that there are three people who are live right now with me, and I am sure that the love that is unconditional will always flow in from one person to another. So what keeps this deep talks alive is that one person is going to come in here, is going to pass on the word that, oh my God, we had a candid conversation with Miss Colleen from India. And it's going to be, oh my God, to France, Paris, Italy, Germany, London, everywhere. Because this is how you make others feel important. And if that is what I believe in, if you make someone feel important, wanted, then you will definitely be having a lot of feedback coming in that you are doing a terrific job. Somewhere you're making others smile. And that is what is needed. In today's time, making someone smile, making someone have a honest, candid confession, it's difficult. Bring 100 people, I think 100 of them, out of them, only 10 or maybe less than 10 would be able to do what I'm doing today. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for having people on the show. So I really would love to let you all know that this is something that's an honor for me once and for all. It is a deeper honor for me because this is something, it's my venture. And Deep Talks is going to be, it's already global. It's there in the book now. Woohoo! I've inked the name of Deep Talks in Breakdown to Wake Up. So you all need to do, grab a copy on Amazon.com or in, and you will come to know the wings of a passionate lady, my story of life, wherein I have passed and conveyed a message. It's not necessary that a good officer can be a good husband, and we also have desires. And as a passionate lady, I got married to a defense officer, and wherein from that passion to a hopeless passion, which was left dying down a death, and I resurrected after having an affair with someone. And I really feel honored to have had that, because somewhere a mother comes in and shares her own story and says, darling, you don't need to fall into depression. You are supposed to live life, and you need to grab on what's coming in life. You don't need to bother about what others say in society. So when the outlook of others is weighing heavy on your mindset, is the time you need to realize where you have to hold on your horses and balance your emotions and IQ and take a step forward. My dear friends, take a step forward. That's the first thing you have to do. Hit the numbers, connect to Heather or connect to me, and I will connect you to her. That's the way to go. Forming relations, that's the way to feel connected. That's the way to make her feel warm, loved, and affectionate. And the last message for the host, And goodbye to 2020. Woohoo!
I can't believe it. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so excited for 2021. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I am so much more connected to myself this year. And
Yeah,
I'm thankful, even though I know this year's been hard, I'm thankful for quarantine. I'm thankful for this pandemic because it forced me and so many others to really get in touch with who they really want to be, who they really
true,
are. And going
true.
forward, we know that now. We know that better than we did earlier this year. So never lose the real person that you discovered who you are. Fully live, fully live that out loud, like Gurleen said, with a smile, smile on your
Yeah.
face for 2021.
Woo! Smile. And the last message from her side to me is happy birthday to
Yes,
me.
happy
Yeah, happy
birthday!
birthday. So the birthday is here. The countdown to 2021 is here. And I'm so very happy, glad to have Heather celebrating it with me. And I'm sure I would have something turning out for 31 because the ones who are not wanting to go out of their homes, we'll be having a virtual party. Come along with your drinks and we'll share a good conversation. So the
Yes, that'd be so fun.
ones who are terrified of going out, you will be amazed that we will have beautiful souls and we would be having drinks and come along with your drinks and Deep Talks will be holding something that will be special, amazing. And who knows from where you have your love popping in and you have a connection there and you build up on that relationship because life is all about living. And to me, the planned things never work out. The unplanned things work better. That's the way
Yes.
to live life. That's the way to live life. So believe you me, friends, those who are committed, please take out time for the ones who are not committed. And the ones who are not committed, please take out time to mingle around with others and know who you are. Explore, grow, and later on take a step that you can be responsible and then hold on to it and then work on it to make sure that you grow together as companions till the later stages of life. Even the wrinkles will speak a story of your love.
Yes.
That will be beautiful enough. Yes, yes. And that's what I want. So goodbye, Heather. Thanks a lot for joining me. It was an honor. It was a privilege. And I'm going to be sharing this link with you after this episode. And we are going to share it with everybody so that we have enough of people watching this. And I'm sure it was lovely. It was fantastic. It was fantabulous. It was stupendous for me to have you on my birthday special. So thanks a lot, Heather. Once again, love you a lot. Love
Love
you a
you.
lot.
Thank you.
God bless.